Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Lab Technologist. In this video, we are gonna talking about a large family of gram-negative organisms that are known as the Enterobacteriaceae. So, the Enterobacteriaceae are the largest family of clinically important gram-negative bacteria or gram-negative rods. It's really a heterogeneous collection of organisms that causes virtually all types of infection that we see in our clinical practice. So let's start. Enterobacteriaceae are the grand family of gram-negative rods. Here we have some common features that are used to distinguish the Enterobacteriaceae from other medically significant group of organisms. So let's start. It ferments the glucose with the acid production. When it ferments the glucose or a sugar, then the acid will produce, and when the acid will produce, the pH will become low and the color will be changed. Next we have these are oxidase negative. All are oxidase negative. Can you tell me what is oxidase positive organism? Yes, remember this. Pseudomonas aeruginosa is oxidase positive, while the other family are oxidase negative. Third we have these are facultative anaerobes. Why they call facultative anaerobes? Because they can grow in the presence or the absence of oxygen. So they are called as the facultative anaerobes. They reduce nitrates to the nitrite. Why they reduce nitrates to the nitrite? Let's start. So here we have a diagram. The bacteria metabolize the nitrate into the nitrites by enzyme that is called nitrate reductase enzyme. Why bacteria reduces the nitrate into the nitrite? There is some conditions in which bacteria reduces the nitrate into the nitrite. In normal condition, means in the aerobic condition, the electron that are coming from the electron transport chain are given to final product, means oxygen, to the electron acceptor that is needed for their growth. But if there is no oxygen available, what should bacteria do? Okay, in the anaerobic condition, when there is no oxygen available, and as a result they would not be able to transfer the electron to this final electron acceptor, then in this case the bacteria look for the environment, and if it finds the nitrates to be there, so if it forms the nitrate reductase enzymes which takes this electron, and as a result the nitrate reduces into the nitrites. So bacteria now having the ability to keep the electron transport chain functional even in the anaerobic condition. So the third point, facultative anaerobes, explain that means the bacteria can grow in the presence or the absence of oxygen. Okay, now fourth we have reduces the nitrates into the nitrites. We have seen that how the bacteria reduces the nitrates into the nitrite. Next we have all are motile except Shigella and Klebsiella. These are Shigella and these are Klebsiella. All are motile, but except both of these two. Next we have these are non-capsulated. All are non-capsulated, but only Klebsiella have a capsule like this. This is a capsule in purple, but all the others are non-capsulated. Last we have these are grow on bile containing media that is called MacConkey agar, because the MacConkey agar contains some constituents. What are these constituents? Let's start. First we have the bile salts, crystal violet, lactose, and neutral red. As we know that the McConkey agar is a selective or a differential media. So what are these reasons why we call this a selective or a differential media? So here we have some reasons. First, bile salts and crystal violet. As these are the constituents of the McConkey agar, these will inhibit the growth of the gram-positive bacteria, and this is the reason why we used the McConkey agar as a selective media, because it will inhibit the growth of the gram-positive bacteria. Next we have a indicator, that is neutral red. In the McConkey agar we have a neutral red indicator or a pH indicator that will change the pH and the color will change into pink. Last we have the lactose. If the lactose is present and the organism ferments the lactose, it will form the pink colonies. If it does not ferment the lactose, it will form the colorless colonies. So on the basis of the lactose fermentation, we classify the Enterobacteriaceae into two groups. If it ferments the lactose, they are called as lactose fermenters. If it does not ferment the lactose, they are called as non-lactose fermenters. What are lactose fermenters and what are non-lactose fermenters? We have a mnemonic for you. For lactose fermenters, it will grow on McConkey agar. So from McConkey, McConkeys. So C for Citrobacter, K for Klebsiella, E for E. coli and E for Enterobacter. So what are the non-lactose fermenters? I have also a mnemonic for you, that is SHIPS. SH by PS. SH Shigella, Y Yersinia, P Proteus and S Salmonella. Okay, next we have the what are the selective and the differential media for the Enterobacteriaceae. These are the selective and differential media that we use for the large family of the Enterobacteriaceae. So let's start. First we have McConkey agar on the basis of the lactose fermentation. Next we have the TSI agar, that is called as a triple sugar iron agar. Next we have the EMB agar or eosine methylene blue agar. Next we have SS agar or called as Salmonella Shigella agar. Okay, these are the some points that I want to mention here. TSI agar or triple sugar iron, EMB or eosine methylene blue, SS agar or Salmonella Shigella agar. In the last we have some biochemical tests that we performed for the Enterobacteriaceae family. First, these are catalase positive, all are catalase positive. Some like Pseudomonas aeruginosa or oxidase positive, I have mentioned before, but the others are oxidase negative. And the last test that we perform is the nitrate reduction test, as I have mentioned before. Thank you.